Hello, this is an assessment of a Schiedemayer upright straight strung underdamper piano made in 1899, extremely well made piano. It's an 85 key piano, as an awful lot of pianos of this age are. Pretty yellowed, the keys. If they were scraped and buffed or just buffed, they will come out a lot less yellow, and it's a job worth doing. Now the case has a beautiful rosewood. If this was Steinway, we would automatically repolish it because the value of the Steinway being Steinway, though not much better a piano, is going to increase with repolishing. This is part of the rosewood Steinway. We just finished repolishing. As you can see, the rosewood veneer is wonderful. The Schiedemayer really isn't any worse a quality of piano than the Steinway. It's just the value of Steinway is higher, simply because of the name Steinway. But if you just love the piano, then this would be an excellent piano to repolish. The sides are in relatively good condition. This would obviously disappear if it was repolished, but it already looks very smart. And there's no serious fading on it either. Now, as you see, it's a straight strung, that string straight up and down. Now, there's other videos about this. The fact that in some respects, straight strung has advantages because the dampers can be longer here. There's no crossover point where you have to make this damper particularly really short. Schiedemayer is extremely well built, so the underdamper Schiedemayer, the straight strung Schiedemayer underdamper is a really very well built piano. The dampers are very early at the moment. They need regulating. It feels heavy and difficult to play, difficult to control, and also the hammers are not setting off correctly either. So also there's lots of key slack. As you can see, the keys should take up immediately, but they're not taking up. So there's a lot of regulation work to do. Now the pitch of the piano is almost a semitone flat. That's an A there. So it's almost a semitone flat. At first, when I played the notes, you hear that note there is really, really flat. It's because these tuning pins, really out of tune, because this lower tuning pin here it was loose. But in fact, when I set some of the pins, I found, to my surprise, that they set really, really well. So once they were, by setting, I'll show you what I mean. This is called a pin setter. It's like a tuning end there, sort of square end there. If you put it on the pin, hold it up like this, and then hit it, not too fiercely, the tuning pin will go a bit further in. The idea is not to go right in, but it's a bit further in to roughen up the wood, and they set unbelievably well. It must be a very good rest blank. So it's not necessary, as I thought originally, to repin this. Let's just set that one and we'll see what it sounds like. Now it really is quite tight, so there's no need to replace these pins, though it would improve. This is a debatable point to think about. The bass strings here, they're automatically not as good as an overstrung because they're a bit shorter. Though here, the tenor strings are as good as the same height overstrung. Round here, by the way, those tenor strings are silver wound, those ones here. Really, really high quality. So they sound beautiful. These are copper wound here. And these strings would be improved changing them. But again, it's down to value of piano partly. I think if you can set the pins well, keep the same ones. The main problem is if you put it in central heating, they are a bit on the loose side. To be safe, you change all the tuning pins. You could do them without restringing the piano. You keep then the silver wound strings. Very debatable. You can restring the whole piano. That will make this bottom bass stronger. You could try twisting the bass strings, which would give them an extra twist, give them a bit more body. So there's various options there, and a bit debatable as to what you're going to do. By the way, there's bichords, not trichords here, and these also aren't copper wound. But they sound just right. Well, a bit out of tune, of course. But a good break point, beautiful. You can't tell much tonal difference there. And these beautiful silver wound strings. There are a lot of really good things to say about this piano. Has a good, what we call Langer style action here, which would definitely have an excellent touch. Say, Steinway isn't a better piano. These tapes are in very good condition. If we had to take them off, to lubricate, we'd probably find they did start to break, so I'm going to replace all the tapes. Lots of questions to answer here as to what is done. We'll have to sort of examine it, give the options, and then the clients whose piano it is will have to decide. And down the bottom bridge here, tremendous construction. Nice long bass strings, they're finishing quite low down. Just well done generally. Here we can see what looks like a bit of cracking, but I don't think it's in any way affecting, if you look on the bridge, no way is affecting the piano. Very dirty, of course, and needs cleaning up. Interesting pedal system here, but it worked perfectly. I haven't seen one like that before, except on Schiedemayer and possibly Lip, which are made in Stuttgart as well. But very, very effective and noiseless. So that's an assessment for restoration of a Schiedemayer upright straight strung underdamper piano, 1899, and a piano with great potential, really, really well made piano, very respected make. And lots of debate as to what to do. If this was a stock piano, we just wouldn't be able to afford to do work like restringing, because it wouldn't, well, maybe just about, but it wouldn't really produce the profit that we would need. Also other things we have to decide, do we take the tapes off and then lubricate? Really, it is already playing really well, so quite a debatable piano in terms of what to do on it. Key tops, I would say scrape them, if it was a stock piano again, scrape and polish or just buff, definitely, could be greatly improved. Could turn the bass strings, get a bit more life into them. Could repin the piano without restringing, that's another possible option. All these options come up because it's not a piano, well, let's say if it was a stock piano, it's not one that we could spend the kind of money we would on a Steinway, which we can recoup, or Beckstein, but not on a Schiedemayer, unfortunately. But beautiful piano. It'd be lovely to do something to it. It's a tone flat. It'll definitely pitch raise, and I don't think the strings will break when we do that. We'll lubricate the pressure points first, and that will prevent them from breaking, I'm pretty sure. Take them down before taking them up. Thank you very much for listening.